What has friendship taught you about love?
I think there's a certain joy and love in the stillness of close friendship, not needing to even talk.
When's that gonna kick in, Matt?
Yeah.
There is the love that we can have for our partners, for our children, how important it is to make our friends a priority in our lives.
Friendship is a relationship. It's the most underserved relationship.
Yes.
People sort of have it in this separate bucket too, that it's some sort of luxury or some sort of add-on. It's prioritizing friendship as part of wellness and health right now. I think people are realizing friendship is the next frontier of health and wellness.
If you are married, you owe it to them to have friends. You can't be everything. Your wife or your partner can't be everything to you. They can't be your therapist and your doctor and your lawyer and your boss. Like, your wife wants you to get out of the house.
Exactly.
Like, your wife wants you to leave.
Yes.
Mine does. He's talking about my wife.
Yes.
This episode is sponsored by our partners at BetterHelp. We talk a lot on this show about what gets in the way of us showing up as our best selves. A lot of it comes down to us needing to do the inner work. Therapy is one of the best places to do that. BetterHelp connects you with a qualified therapist online and makes it easy to switch if the match isn't right. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up and receive 10% off at betterhelp.com/loveready. That's betterhelp.com/loveready.
Today, I am so excited to welcome our guests, Erin, Karo, and Matt Ritter. They are the authors of The Buddy System, which is a book all about helping men build and nourish friendships. They also have an awesome podcast called Man of the Year. If there's one lesson that I really learned today from our guests, Matt and Erin, is really how essential friendship is. I know that in my own life, how important friends have been in all the seasons of my life. When things are going great, and of course, when things aren't. When life feels like it's falling apart, our friends are so essential to our well-being, and it's our biological need as human beings. So knowing the importance of friendship, really, I think it's a responsibility for all of us to step up our friendship game. Make that phone call, send the text, actually plan a date with your friend. Invite them over, go for lunch. Anything we can do to actually nurture the people around us and the friendships that are so important for our well-being. And friends just make life better. Matt, Erin, I'm so happy that you came out of your busy days to be with me today to talk about friendship.
We always like talking about friendship.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
I know. I love that. You know, I listened to The Buddy System. It's so fantastic. I loved how you're both narrating together and you're making jokes, and you really, I got a good feel for the two of you and your dynamic as best friends. It was fantastic.
Oh man, the behind the scenes of that was Karo just bashing me because I was doing all of his sensitive voice and I was doing all the vocal exercises. I was the lozenges, and he was just like, can you just shut up?
Yeah.
We were in a little room, the two of us, for 4 days straight.
Yes.
It's not good.
But so much fun, right?
Yeah, it was amazing, actually.
It was okay.
He loved it. We had a good time.
Well, we've been friends since second grade, so it's like we've run out of...
You've known each other since you were in second grade.
Yeah.
You've been best friends since second grade.
And now we just got out of college, so it's only been about 15 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were young men out in the wild.
Yeah. Today, what I am so excited to talk about is male friendship and just friendship in general and how important friends are in our life. I myself have 9 best friends that I grew up with, so there's a group of 10 of us.
Very good.
We've been best friends, some of us since kindergarten, all 10 since grade 10. And so when I hear your story of, you've got a podcast called Man of the Year, and every year there's the trophy, Man of the Year trophy. You get together every year, your group of 9, right?
Karo, just give her the spiel.
He loves this.
Yeah,
He loves
come on, let's hear it.
And by the way, I am the current man of the year.
Yes. Good
so
for you, Aaron.
you're all in front of royalty here.
We don't know when this is airing. Maybe he may not be anymore.
I'll probably be man of the year next year too. It's aspirational. But yeah, so Matt lets me tell the story. So basically, we are from Plainview, New York, which is a suburb of Long Island, or on Long Island. And we have the same 9 friends from childhood. Every year on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, the 9 of us all gather from wherever we live. And we go to Brooklyn and we have a Friendsgiving dinner at this place, Peter Luger's, which is one of the oldest steakhouses in New York City. We have a raucous Friendsgiving dinner, and then we vote on which friend had the best year. The winner gets their name engraved on our trophy, and they keep it for the rest of the year.
And naturally, you want to know how you win. It's completely subjective. Like, how do you convince your 8 best friends that you had a better year?
Yeah.
And in fact, you don't advocate on your behalf. Somebody else has to do it for you. You have a nominating round, and it's all out in the open and transparent. So there's a lot of hurt feelings. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But really, what...
Don't you want to know why I won?
Yeah, yes, please.
To be honest, I want to know why you won too.
Honestly, I got blackout drunk. I don't know how I won. No, I sold a pilot. I did a triathlon. I squeaked the victory out over Matt, who had a second kid, because anyone could have a kid.
Which is something I said in 2012 when somebody else had their first kid, and they threw it back in my face this year.
Having kids does not nominate you. It doesn't give you points for being man of the year.
Doesn't inherently get you anything.
But really, it's a celebration of your friendship.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's a really good nature.
It's a fun...
Honestly, it's one of those things, the genesis of the pod is that we were thinking about doing a pod, and we were like, well, what do we know? And there was this giant trophy staring us in the face. And previously, we've been doing this for 22 years now. Over the course of the past few years, we noticed other people started chiming in. They're like invested in it. Who's going to win? What's going on? How was your year?
Yeah.
But there was one comment that we would get more than any other comment, which was, man, I wish I had a friend group like that, or I wish I did something like that. And that made us realize we had something special now in our early, mid, late 40s, that we still had this group of tight-knit guys, and not a lot of people had that. So we started thinking about and studying and talking to people. Like, we kind of reverse engineered, how did we end up doing this thing that's actually really hard, to find these days?
I think it's amazing. And really what you're highlighting is the importance of male friendship as well, because that's not talked about. I mean, I have 9 best friends, and that's very unusual. I know that is, but I've also got other groups of friends that are very close girlfriends of mine, and I value that friendship. And I think as women, we are really good at friendship. Like, I would say with men, there's a challenge. Let's talk about that. You're seeing it firsthand. You're talking, you are friendship advocates. And you're talking to men. There's a loneliness epidemic. There is a disconnect. What are you seeing around? What are you hearing?
Well, first, I agree with what you're saying. A lot of it is, I think some of it is inherent, some of it is sociological. The way men are raised in society is their sort of circle of success is get married, have a family, buy a house, get a good job, and you're quote unquote successful or content. Women know that part of that is needing their friends. And so suddenly men are waking up at 30, 35, 40, going, oh my God, I have no friends. And they're realizing, oh, I actually do need this piece. And it's not really that they have no friends, it's that they just stopped watering those friendships a long time ago. But the great thing about friendship, especially male friendship, is you could go like 5 years without talking to your friend and pick it right back up. But you don't really want to do that.
Yes.
You don't want to go 5 years without talking to your friend.
No.
Yeah.
And so you have your book, which is fantastic, The Buddy System. You've got a system to help people.
Yeah, because men do better when there's a system, when there's a bracket, when there's a
stats,
something they can follow.
We need the numbers.
And by the way, the one stat we should say, 15% of American men have no close friends.
15, when I heard that, I was 15% is a high number.
Yeah.
15% have no close friends.
Yeah.
50%, 49% have 3 or less.
Yeah.
So you're talking about half of the population, and then 15% just 0.
Yeah.
And guys are just not as good at keeping in touch. I mean, Matt always says men don't have falling outs, they have falling offs. Like, you just don't talk to your friend for like 2 weeks, and then 2 months and 2 years, and then you never talk to him again. But nothing happened. Like, you're not in a fight or anything. So we just kind of give our men just a few steps, a few tips and hacks to reach out to a buddy. First telling them that, like, men want you to reach out to them. So our number one tip is be the friend, which is don't wait around for someone to invite you to something. You're going to invite someone else to something. And they want to hear from you.
Be the friend. You said there's 2 words to friendship, right?
Show up.
Yeah.
Show up. Yeah.
And that means a lot of things, right? When you hear show up, you go, oh, do I have to be at this place at a certain time? Yes, sometimes, right? You go to the important events, but it also means the ups and downs of life. Sometimes a friend is grieving. Show up. We always say saying something is better than saying nothing, but also be there to celebrate the wins. You know, a true friend is somebody that you can call and you're not like, oh, is this person going to be happy for me when I tell them about the job promotion, right? You want to be that friend for them too. So showing up can be a lot of things, but at its core, if you be the friend and you show up, it's pretty easy.
I think what it comes down to, what you're reinforcing over and over again, is just how important it is to make our friends a priority in our lives, right? Because there is the love that we can have for our partners, for our children, you know. And I think about a friendship and how important, like, what friends can add to your life.
We also say friendship is a relationship. It's the most underserved relationship.
Yes.
You know, people sort of have it in this separate bucket too, that it's some sort of luxury or some sort of add-on to your life. When, again, it's prioritizing friendship as part of wellness and health right now. I think people are realizing friendship is the next frontier of health and wellness.
Yes, it is.
When you mentioned, you know, your partner, having love for your partner, you know, one thing Matt and I talk about a lot is, like, if you are married, you owe it to them to have friends. You can't be everything. Your wife or your partner can't be everything to you. They can't be your therapist and your doctor and your lawyer and your boss. Like, your wife wants you to get out of the house.
Exactly.
Like, your wife wants you to leave.
Yes.
Mine does. He's talking about my wife.
Yes, I'm single, ladies. So, but
Aaron's single.
Everybody. But you know, we talk about other significant others. Like, it's important to have a significant other than your partner, because they can't do it all. And also, you're annoying. Like, leave the house. Like, she wants to do her own thing.
That's something I talk about in the book, right? It's like this big myth that there's a lot of myths with the debunk.
Yeah.
And one of them is exactly what you said, Aaron. It's like, you complete me. You know, you are my everything. It's like, no. Like, you are my companion, everything else. But I don't want to talk to my boyfriend about absolutely everything. There's something that our friends give us that we can't get from our partner. And that's great.
I couldn't agree more. I did a video that went viral, and people were like, what are you talking about? My wife's my best friend. She's my only friend. I'm like, okay, you really think she wants to talk about the Roman Empire endlessly or watch the Van Damme marathons with you? She doesn't.
Exactly.
You know? So it's like, maybe you should check in with her about what she really wants before you make this unilateral statement about, oh, she's my everything and she's everything. It's like, well, maybe she wants you to have a little more piece of that. Like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm brimming with what I think are really good business ideas. And my wife's like, you need to leave the room.
Exactly. Go call a friend.
Yeah. Go call him.
Go call him.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm hopped up on dumb ideas.
Yeah, hopped up on dumb ideas. Yeah. Oof.
So what has friendship taught you about love?
Well, I would say we talk about what we call useless friends. I shouldn't say we because that's someone else coined it. We talk about useless friends, which is a friend who can do nothing for you. They can't help you in your job. They, can't help you financially. They're just someone that you enjoy hanging out with for the sake of hanging out with them. And again, this is a friend, so you're not sleeping with them. You're not raising a family together. They're just a friend. I think that's kind of like one of the purest forms of love, and that you're just there with them just to be. So I think that's something friendship has taught me about.
I love that. I think there's a certain joy and love in the stillness of close friendship, not needing to even talk.
When's that going to kick in, Matt?
Yeah, it is true. You know, to have a friend where you could just say, come over. There's nothing you're selling. There's nothing we're doing. We're just being. And that's just as pure as it gets.
You're just being. You're just hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. So let's say, I know you're surrounded by, you're talking to men. They're calling in your show and they're saying, I'm having a hard time. What do I do? What is like the first step? You talk about having like a third place.
Yeah.
Right? Is that, tell us about like the foundation.
Yeah, I would say first step Are you sure you don't actually have any friends?
Right.
Okay, because look at what we just said. A lot of guys have friends and they just haven't talked to them in 6 months to 6 years.
Yeah.
Everybody's had a friend. Everybody went to high school. Everyone went to preschool. Everyone went to college somewhere. That's the first thing. Check in on your existing friends. Are you sure you just haven't spoken to them? Now, oftentimes people move. That's a big trend, is that people are not living in the same place that they grew up. People are much farther away from where they, came of age than they used to be. So that would be, the next level we talk about of finding friends, which is friends of friends.
So you tell the story. Was it you, Aaron, that moved across the country and you were like, oh my gosh, or was it you, Matt?
Well, we both did.
We both
You
did.
both did.
Yeah.
But I think you had contacted, you said to each other, okay, I'm moving. Like, can you please put me in touch with some of your buddies? I mean, what a great idea, right?
We do get all the time, how do you meet a new person? And we have an entire chapter called
Yes.
Total Effing Strangers.
Yes, exactly.
And we have a lot to say about that. But again, we consider that the hardest level.
Right.
That's like, you're just skipping to the hardest level of the game.
You don't need to.
When there's so many easier levels. Friends of friends, they're already vetted.
Yes.
The chances are you have something in common or even something to talk about in the beginning. So we just feel like there's a lot of overlooked stuff to get to before you go, oh, I have to, I'm starting from scratch.
What's the easiest, right?
Right.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So existing friends, then friends of friends. Then we talk about fringe friends. So what's a fringe friend? A fringe friend is an acquaintance who you know their name and they know your name. So a neighbor, a coworker, someone at the gym, someone who you already at least know and they know you exist on this planet. And then we try to get them to level up. So level them up from a fringe friend to a binge friend, someone you barely know to someone you want to hang out with all the time. That's the third highest level of difficulty. And that involves...
Again, men like it when you,
you got
you
a buddy system.
bracket
It's
it.
called the buddy system. Yeah, exactly.
There's definitely a ladder system.
Yeah, they hear
I
some
actually can think
Nintendo
about that,
music while they're...
There's a boutique that I shop at, like a women's boutique in Victoria. And I would go in there and obviously the clothes are awesome. And I'm going and I'm like, this woman who's helping me all the time, she's so beautiful and awesome, so fun. And she knows my name. I know her name. And I'm like, we got good conversation.
Yeah.
And so I flat out asked her, I was like, do you want to exchange numbers? Do you want to hang out sometime? You're cool.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. I mean,
Of course she said yes.
She could have said no.
She could have said no.
Well, she's also working on commission.
She owns the store.
Yeah. Okay.
But now we're really good friends.
Oh, see, there you go.
So that...
We also get a lot of emails and messages about these scenarios where everybody is just focusing on the negative, on the downside, on the rejection. And we laugh because this isn't like trying to find a partner. There, you're trying to find the one. Here, you're just trying to find a one. If it doesn't work out, just shop at another store.
Oh, absolutely, Matt. You make a great point. I love that. So you say something, you've got a name for this, right? Because you're both, you write screenplays. You're both in the film industry in Los Angeles. And it's you're used to rejection. It's part of your...
I've built up an immunity to rejection.
I'm dead inside.
You're dead inside.
Yeah.
But it's almost you have to have that skill of being able to be okay, that hurt.
Yeah.
Oh man, but get back up and get back out there again because it's part of your...
What's fascinating about all these emails is, they focus on the negative and I always just respond, so what?
Right.
A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to make friends with my coworker. I'm not sure if I want to make friends with my neighbor. What if it's weird? Okay, what if you make a best friend?
What if?
Look at the upside versus the little bit of awkwardness that you might have versus a lifetime of great experiences with somebody. To me, it's there's no contest.
Oh, there isn't.
So how's it going with the woman in the store?
Yeah.
Oh, we're very good friends.
Amazing.
She's this was I think it's about 4 years now.
Yeah.
What's the discount situation?
There's zero. Yeah. I'm okay with it. I support her. I mean, she owns a beautiful local store.
Yeah.
I don't
Go
expect
local.
a discount. I don't want a discount.
Shop local,
Yeah,
support your
shop
friends.
local.
So you know what
Okay,
she
great.
does, which is amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know if she does this for all of her. I'm a good friend of hers, but she will, she does all the tailoring for my clothes because everything has to get shortened. I'm a shorty.
Yeah.
And she'll drop
Short
it
king
off.
over here.
She will drop my pants off. You know what I mean? To my doorstep. I mean, that is a friend.
That is amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes above and beyond, just like I would do for her.
What's the name of the store? We should mention it.
Hughes. Hughes Clothing
Hughes.
for women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Great.
You know, I love this. There's so many things I learned from your book, honestly, you guys. You talk about like having birthdays. I'm having a birthday, like, okay.
Yeah.
That is a great one, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all have birthdays.
Yeah.
So every year, celebrating your birthday and inviting people to your party, because very few people are going to say no to your party. Yeah. It's a great way to bring together your friends for at least once a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We said celebrate everything, is what we said in our book.
Yes, but you also you coined the term like, I'm having a birthday. It's not your birthday, but how about having a birthday?
Birthday as a
we use it
verb.
as a verb.
Birthdaying as a verb. I
You know,
like
my
it.
sister and her husband just celebrated their 45th birthday in Mexico. Destination, joint 45th birthdays. And people were like, is that a thing? I'm like, they're making it a thing.
they're
And it's
making it a
fun.
thing.
And 22 people came out. And I was like, now it's going to be a thing. Now 45th, they missed their 40th during COVID. They didn't get to celebrate. So and we're like, that's great. Why
That's
not?
awesome.
Yeah.
Always celebrate your birthday. Like, what's the downside?
What's the downside?
Yeah. We're just 1 year closer to the inevitable.
But when we're talking about the calendar, you know, this idea of using the calendar to your advantage socially, there are baked in days where it's easier to reach out to your friends. The birthday is the lowest hanging fruit.
Exactly.
It's the easiest one to reach out to.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking advantage of that, you're just making it harder on yourself too.
And you know, like you said, I think it's like celebrating. Like, why not? Your buddy, let's just say you got a promotion. Like, I got a promotion. Great. Let's go celebrate. Let's go have a meal together. Right? Like, why not? Or I'm like you won the award for your triathlon or your Okay, you had to train. Did you ask buddies to train with you?
Well, I didn't
He doesn't train.
I didn't train. I'm just naturally like this.
It's incredibly
I'll take
impressive.
questions after. It's all great.
It's incredibly impressive that he's never trained for a marathon or a triathlon or anything. He just
Wow.
shows up. Yeah, we do go to support him, actually. That's another one.
Of course.
It's a great friend activity, going out to support your friend doing a marathon.
I will say, though, that we don't always show up for the good stuff. Our friend got divorced, and we threw him a divorce party.
Oh, yeah.
When I heard that, I
Yes.
was like, that's fantastic.
You should see the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's such a great idea because you're celebrating his new stage in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why not? He doesn't need to be in the dumps about it, which he might be, but it's just like you have friends to support you.
Yeah. Well, it's also, we talk about showing up, but it is a little bit easier to show up, Matt, for the good stuff because it's happy and it's fun and it's usually convenient and whatever. But, you know, Matt always talks about like friendship is also inconvenient, you know, when I just had to fly across the country for a funeral, you know, or someone gets divorced. Like you have to be there for that stuff too.
And how very important that is. Like I think about when my twin died and my dad died and
Sorry.
yeah, thank you. It was hard, but you know what? My friends were there for me, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
I always say
about-
that
you
to
think
people.
about
When my
that.
dad died, you don't realize these are the memories that really stick.
You actually do think about it.
Yeah,
You're thinking,
yeah.
I hope my friends show up.
Yeah.
And you know what?
those,
They did.
they really stick, the people who show up.
And that really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah. Listen, life is, as you get older, there's a lot more of that in your life.
Yes,
There's a
there
lot
is.
more of the death, sickness, illness, grief. I mean, so if you're not going to be able to show, you know, you can't not show up for that stuff as an adult because that's just becomes more and more part of the reality of life and of being a good friend. And I think the reason that people don't show up, again, isn't malicious. It's fear, it's the awkwardness, not knowing what to say. And they just do a miscalculation. They think it's easier not to say anything, but long-term, that's so much more damaging
Yes.
to the relationship. It's harder to recover from. And there are very few times where you say the wrong thing to the point where it's now, oh, you said something bad at their, you know, Shiva call, whatever. It's like, it's very unlikely. Whatever you say is okay, usually appropriate in the moment.
Yeah. And saying something is better is way better than not saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I think about friendship breakups, like I think that's one thing. Like some friendship breakups can be, or just endings, just kind of you're floating away. You're just okay. But I've definitely experienced as a woman friendship breakups that are very painful, like grieving, right? This person that you spent so much time with and your families were intertwined. And it's like, it's a divorce. Like you are grieving the loss of a deep relationship and you had intimacy with that person, right? I mean, when you're close friends, you're intimate with that person.
I think the idea that it's not okay to grieve friendships is the issue.
Yes.
We absolutely should be allowed to give ourselves the freedom to grieve, but also give ourselves the freedom to appreciate whatever happened to end the friendship. It could just be, the wrong time, wrong place, or it could be that, somebody did something wrong to the other person. That doesn't make everything that you had before meaningless.
Exactly.
So I always try to look at that as, for that moment in my life, I'm really grateful for that person. Even if right now, whatever we're feeling is negative or sad, I still try to go back to, hey, you know what? That person taught me something, or I really just, even if it was like, I just had some fun with that person. That was a really fun time.
That was a season of my life where I needed that fun, right? What were the gifts of that friendship?
Right. And we're all evolving and changing. And some people are going to evolve and change with you. And some people aren't. They're going to evolve and change in other direction. We're all just kind of bouncing off of each other.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to be okay with that.
I agree.
And we also have a term for an old friend who you've sort of grown apart from, and they're not active in your life, but you still respect them, called friend emeritus. So
friend emeritus?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they still have a place in your life, and you're not active friends with, but, they were important. You have respect for them, and maybe one day they'll come out of retirement.
It's kind of the offshoot of what we talked about in the book, was friendship tenure, where at a certain level, you're in forever.
Can't be fired.
Right? But it's not always forever. Nothing's ever forever. So we created this term to kind of, again, we're talking about ritualizing the ritual and naming things. We put a really nice positive spin on, instead of going, I'm not really friends with that person anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, we were.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So tell me about friendships between men and women and your experience with that. I mean, you tell a story in your book about you're still friends with a girl you were friends with since kindergarten.
Yeah, I know her 1 year older than Matt.
Yes.
Longer.
Great class photo of us.
That's rare and amazing. You know? I can think of a friend that I've had, a few male friends that I've had since I was little that I'm not in touch with all the time. No, it's not like that. But I know that if there was anything that went down in my life, like my brother dying and my dad dying, I mean, of course he was there because he's our family. Like we're family, like these men would be there for me in a heartbeat.
Yeah, of course it is fraught. Matt and I talk about this all the time because Matt is married. I'm single. So there are certain, different rules and regulations, I think, to having a friend of the opposite sex. I have several, what were we saying?
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. Great. Yeah, I don't have
rules and regulations about them.
Yeah,
Section C. Rules of engagement. I understand that.
Section C to B.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Christina, it brings me a lot of joy. She brings another perspective. It's the same reason why we think men who are married to women should have guy friends. Like, I have a million guy friends, but I also need to talk to a girl every once in a while. Yeah. I have also some female friends that I'm trying to or actively sleeping with. I mean, it all depends. It's all wonderful and good, and love is love. And but I think there's no reason that men and women can't be friends, as to paraphrase When Harry Met Sally. And I think that it's an important part of my friendship universe.
The one thing I will say that I've learned from having a lot of mom friends in our neighborhood, there are a lot of young female entrepreneurs, and the way they lift each other up, I think men can take a huge lesson from them.
Yes.
Massive. It's unbelievable. Don't even have to be asked. Just going around peddling each other's wares.
Oh, for sure.
To anyone that will listen, sending texts about this person's business and that person. And I think to myself, man, if men did that, it would be, be nice to see our friends do that for each other a little more.
Support.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the, lifting.
Yeah.
But I think that, for men, if you meet someone of the opposite sex and you want to become platonic friends with them, we encourage that. I mean, it's great. Like, you can do all the same things you do with your male friend, and there's a certain joy to it. And yes, there's maybe some interesting, situations you can get into, but I think friendship is transcends that if you're not married. Can't speak on this stuff.
No, of course I have female. We talked about it in the book. Yeah. Some of them are grandfathered in.
Yes.
Some are pre-16. But Section C, A, to B of the code says I can't just make a 21-year-old Brazilian yoga instructor my new friend.
Of course not.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by our partners at BetterHelp. In the course of my life, I've had a lot of experience with therapy. And in my job, what I do every day is I speak to relationship experts. I read all the books. But it wasn't until I actually started working with a qualified therapist that I trust, somebody that I built a relationship with over time, that this person has been able to help me with a lot of different things in my life. Because of therapy, I've become a better mom, a better partner, a better leader in my company. BetterHelp makes it possible for anyone to access that kind of support. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. If you sign up, you'll receive 10% off at betterhelp.com/loveready. That's betterhelp.com/loveready.
You gave some great examples in your book around, like, you made a new friend that you walked up to at a party.
Oh, yeah.
At a bar. And it'd be
Yeah.
like, it was so, because you're like, I don't know anybody here. And this is so incredibly awkward. We've all been
Yeah.
there, right? When you've been in a space where you're like, oh God, I don't know anybody. How is this going to go?
Right.
You just want to walk out the door, right?
Well, we say you can't go home unless you've gone out.
Oh yeah, you can't go home unless you've gone out.
So if there is an event or something, like, it's okay to leave, but you have to go there in the first place.
Yeah.
We also talk about embracing randomness. So the reason why I met that friend was that my barber invited me to, like, an event at the barber shop on, like, a Wednesday. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I was like, it's pretty random. Not going to know anyone. So the odds of something random kind of happening are high.
Oh, that's good.
So I showed up. I stood in the corner. We've all done that, even two friendship experts. Stood in the corner nursing a drink.
I
and
know,
then,
because it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's
You're
weird.
like, oh God.
We get a lot of these emails like, oh, I'm an introvert, or when I'm at parties, I can't do it. It's like, hey, guy, we're super social. We don't like doing that either.
No, it's so awkward. It's a
likes
human. It's like,
doing
it's a
that.
human thing, right?
Exactly. It's not like, nobody likes going to a party where they don't know anybody. You know, it's
No.
like a little awkward. But I think part of it is too, we're a little too hard on ourselves. It's like, so we kind of tried to give you a little outs in the book too. It's like, it's not that easy to just go make a new friend, but we're not even, the whole book, we say it at the beginning, we're not trying to make a friend. We're trying to increase the surface area, put ourselves in these situations. The first chapter is actually about putting yourself in the friendship mindset. Because before you can do that, you're putting all of these limiting beliefs in your head. You go to I go to this party, nobody likes me, I don't have anything to say. You're toast. You're right, You're not making friends with that attitude.
Yeah.
Matt, should we talk about the highest degree of difficulty, total effing strangers?
It's a high degree of
Total effing. Well, that guy was a total effing stranger in your book that you went up to, right?
That is true. But if we want to get into the friendship mindset, you mentioned before, it's about finding your third place. This is if you're in a town that you didn't grow up in and you don't have any friends, you don't have any friends of friends, you just got to meet strangers.
Yeah.
It's our number one email that we get, probably on the podcast.
So I don't know anyone.
I
moved to a new city, help me.
What do I do? What do I
just
do?
goes, I moved to a new city, help.
Yeah, exactly. Because that is like, I've been in that situation, right? Like when you move to a new place and I was working and I was like consumed with my work all day long. But at the end of the day, I would go home to my empty place and I was so lonely.
It's lonely.
It was so lonely. I missed my friends. Oh God. And they're all partying, having a great time. And I'm like, my work's great, but nothing else is really great. And like, what do? You have to find
your third place.
Yeah.
So first place is home, second place is work, and a third place is anywhere besides home or work where people go and gather and socialize.
Yeah.
So it could be a bar, it could be the park, it could be a place of worship, it could be the library, it could be any place where people, the gym, exactly. And we say find your golf, right? Because we focus a lot on men, and men are always about golf. Me and Matt, we suck at golf. We're terrible at golf, so we're not going to meet people playing golf. But what else are you passionate about? Yeah. What else do you want to do? And then we tell you, go to this place regularly and consistently. Like Matt goes to the same coffee shop every morning at the same time.
6:30.
I go to the gym.
It's regularity and consistency.
You can't just go randomly to a gym class and then go to a different class, because then you're not going to see the same people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
it takes time.
But over time, it starts with a nod. The nod becomes a hello. The hello becomes small talk. Then you get into some medium talk. You find some common interest. You give a recommendation. You take a recommendation. Next thing you know, you're inviting them out. You're exchanging numbers. You're getting the digits.
Matt, do you want to talk about like why you shouldn't just pick any third place that you think other people want?
Yeah. A lot of people go, I heard people like golf. Like, golf's a good example.
Pickleball or whatever,
It's like, if you try to shoehorn into something you're not passionate about, that energy is not going to be there. The best version of you is not going to be showing up.
Yeah.
And people sense that. And they're not like super enthused to be with somebody who's not really excited to be wherever they are.
Yeah, you want to be,
Yeah.
like, I think about the gym that I go to.
Yeah.
It's a personal training gym. So everybody's got their own trainers.
Yeah.
And I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday
Yeah.
at 6:30 a.m. That is
Yeah.
my time. And so
Yeah.
I walk in the door now. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
since last April. It's been a year almost.
Yeah. Well, you look great.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you. But it's like I know everybody. Like I know,
Right. Yeah,
I know a
there you
lot of
go.
people by first name. I could go be, you want to go for a walk or something
Right.
with some of these people. I haven't done it yet.
But what you're talking about is great because we talk about taking it to a fourth place.
Right.
So once you've established a good rapport
In the third
with
place.
the people in the third place, the key to turning that into an actual friendship is removing yourselves from the place that is kind of limiting what you had. We talk about the book, there's all these invisible boundaries that we set up for ourselves. We go, well, this is my friend from the gym, and so our friendship ends after gym is over. This is my dad friend from school pickup, so our conversations end when we pick up the kids. There's actually nothing there. It's an imaginary line. You can say to your friend, hey, let's go get a smoothie. Let's go see a movie. And most of the time they're like, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah.
We have all these ideas like, oh, this person's going to say no, they don't like me. It's like, no, most people are like, oh, that was so awesome. Somebody just invited me somewhere.
Yeah. I love what you guys are doing. You're living this, right?
Yeah.
You're living and breathing it. You're promoting friendship, but your friends are so important to you.
Yeah.
And I just think, I love the fact that you're helping people like nurture that.
We're heroes. I mean, we're gods
Yeah.
among men. I mean, what can you say?
We're doing God's work. We're incredible. Thank you so much.
No, but honestly, truth be told, there's something funny about, we're friendship experts. I think the reason that the message resonates from us is we are just two pretty regular schmoes who happen to value our male friendship, and we talk openly and vulnerably in a way about these things to other men, but in their language.
Right.
And we like one of the examples is we know that a lot of men are not at the vulnerability level that maybe we're at right now. And I wasn't always at that way. So we always say thanks is a gateway emotion. That's something I think we said in the book is the idea.
Gratitude is a gateway.
Yeah,
emotion.
gratitude, because this idea that men all over the world are just suddenly going to wake up tomorrow and tell their buddies, I love you, man. It's not reality. We say it at the end of each episode just to try to normalize that language.
Oh, you do?
We do.
Wow.
That's how we end every episode. So we believe that we can get men to start by saying thanks and showing gratitude to their friends. And slowly but surely, it's kind of sneaking in the vegetables with the ice cream of, friendship.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah.
It's like the Seinfeld, right? Like,
Yeah.
wasn't it Jerry Seinfeld's wife was like sneaking in the vegetables
Yeah,
into like the
exactly.
muffins and
Yes.
stuff. It's like, oh yeah, they don't even know they're having broccoli.
Exactly. And when men hang out, right? We talk about how men relate shoulder to shoulder versus face to face. There's a funny story we tell in the book about how a couple of years ago, I came home to my wife after hanging out with one of our oldest friends from second grade. And she was like, how's Brian? How's his wife? How's his job? How's his kids? I'm like, don't know, didn't ask.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the standard, the norm for male friendship. But now we go, it's okay to talk about the game and the mortgages, but just also find out about how his job is and his wife is. You don't have to dive deep right away, but it's like, remember to get a little more out of that encounter.
Now Matt can't stop saying I love you.
I love you, buddy.
I love you to the dog. I love you to
The love
everybody.
affair just keeps getting deeper and deeper.
I mean, I've got two little boys at home. I'm a weepy man.
But what a beautiful example you are showing your boys, Matt.
Yeah.
On how important friendship is, male friendship and vulnerability. I mean, you're doing this with the men in your life. That is a huge gift that you are giving them.
Yeah, we were talking about this because, we were talking about how our parents modeled good friendship, and I'm thinking a lot about actually gave a talk at the school where my son goes about how to model this stuff. I want I want my sons to see, oh, daddy prioritizes friendship. There is something in his own life that's important to him outside of, this family, and these people are in your life too. We have like, one of the things that we've done, I think that's going to model good behavior for our kids is we've lowered the bar to a yes. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and everybody always says, oh, it's I'm too busy. Can't make time for friends right now. So I'm a big advocate of low-key hangs. Right now, we kind of have like open Fridays at the house. Just come over and throw the kids we have a ball pit in our house. Literally, kind of the worst gift that somebody got us, but it's amazing. But
It's
we're all
perfect
there.
for little kids,
Right,
just
we're all
like-
there kind of parenting together. People say, everybody wants to, wants the village, but nobody wants to be a villager. I don't think that's true at all. I think people want it. They just don't know how to do it.
They don't know how to do it. They need people like you that are going to be the host. Like I am the host.
Yeah, me too.
People call me the hostess with the mostest. And guess what? I
My
learned
wife
that
too.
from both of my parents were that.
Yeah.
Like our house was the open door. We had the open door policy. And you know what? That's amazing for people to have a place. Like they know that I will host.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about that because I'm friends with 2 other people that host in the neighborhood. And it's like the 3 of us are lifting up the entire neighborhood. And I love it. And I also think as selfless as it is, it's also, I've been thinking, it's a little selfish too, because I'm never not getting invited to places.
You're the one that's always creating.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think wouldn't you say that your relationship, your friendships it's like your ground for learning how to relate.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect fertile ground. If you're in a good friendship, it's that you're learning all these skills. Like when I think about that, Matt, it's like, let's just say you're like, I don't want to host anymore. Don't you think that you would have the gumption or the courage to be like to some of your other buddies that always come to your house? All right, who's hosting next?
Absolutely.
Like, do you know what I mean? You're at that level of friendship where you can be like, okay, it's somebody else's turn.
Yes. And I think that's important too. It's to be able to just say the truth to your friends, to be honest with your friends and to not have to put on appearances and put on that mask all the time. I think that's what deep, meaningful friendship is. To just
really
be able
is.
to be as you are and how you want to be.
It really is.
Yeah.
We have a hard time asking for help. We can do it all ourselves or something.
I mean, there was literally a song written about this called That's What Friends Are For.
Right.
Your friends are there for you to ask them in your time of need. Now, as Matt would say, and I would probably agree, get an Uber from the airport. You're an adult. You don't need me to pick you up. But for other things, I recently had a colonoscopy, by the way. Men, get your colonoscopies. Matt, get your colonoscopies overdue.
I'm 40. I'm younger than you. 2 months.
It's coming.
And, I had to think of like, which buddy am I going to, ask to pick me up? It's a big favor.
You need that support.
Yeah. So I was like, not Matt. I have another buddy who's had a colonoscopy before and he understands it. So he picked me up. It was great. And listen, I owe you. And it was fine. He was happy to do it. And, as long as this is not an everyday occurrence, which it probably isn't, it's okay. I mean, this is what your friends are there to do.
You know what I learned recently? We had a bit of a medical emergency with our youngest, and our 3-year-old was home, and it was the middle of the night. We were like, what are we going to do? And luckily, my nanny was available. But then the next day, a bunch of people were like, why didn't you call me at 2 a.m?
Right.
It just goes to show you, we have this idea that we don't want to inconvenience people. True friends want you to call them when you need them. It's gratifying as a friend to know that somebody considers you somebody they can call in those moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully agree with that. I think about my cousin going through like some stuff in his life. And I called him because it was like he came to mind. It was just like his name just appeared in my head. And I was like, picked up the phone and just, how are you? And it'd been a while. And he told me what he was going through. And I'm like, gosh, I really wish, I wish he would have called me. But we connected. But just how important it is that we lean on each other.
Yep.
So how are you maintaining your friendships that you have? Like you said, like you can go maybe years without talking to somebody and then you're still friends. But I think our deep friendships, we have to nurture them.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, like, let's not underestimate the power of the group chat.
Yeah, the group chat.
Some guys feel a little weird about like texting someone one-on-one, but like we're all in group chats.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little easier. One little hack we have is like, like sometimes on like social media, like it'll an old picture of you will pop up from like that year, that day, like 2 years ago. I just send it to everybody who's in the picture. And then it just gets a whole
I love that
conversation
strategy. So if you're trying to reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, and one of those pictures pops up or something, that's a great way to do it, right, Aaron? You put it, make a group chat.
Yeah, exactly. Because then if one person doesn't respond, the other person did, and so you find it's just an excuse to get the conversation going, and then you can talk about some real stuff. And we also say if there's a situation where you haven't spoken to someone in a while and you reconnect with them, you don't have to litigate. Like, oh, it's been 2 years. Like, just kind of gloss over that. It's been a minute, and then just talk about the plans.
Men don't need that.
Yeah,
we don't need it.
We don't care.
Don't need to.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, we don't need the resolution of what happened 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Talked
it's
in
all
2
good.
years.
Yeah.
You probably thought you guys just hang out. Oh, it's been 2 years? Oh, yeah. So move right past that. Now we're talking about your existing friends. We also found our guys don't necessarily even share good news. So we talk about being the herald. So let's
That's
say
this guy.
if
Major.
He doesn't, you're too.
Major.
if you hear that your buddy just got promoted or something good happened, I just send that news to the group chat. Even though he didn't tell anybody, I'm going to tell everybody.
Yes.
And everyone chimes in, oh, congratulations, it's so great, blah, blah, blah.
Great.
Because you just want to like share this good news because they'll never tell anybody else.
Yes.
And it's good to check in. Matt and I are talking about, there's a 7th inning stretch in baseball, and we've been pitching that on the 4th inning. If you're watching a game with your buddy, you should turn to them and say, how you doing? We call it the 4th inning kvetch. Like,
Yes.
how's your mental health? Right?
Right. Like, how are you really?
Yes.
Right. How are you
Exactly.
really doing?
And most of the time, they're probably doing okay. And every once in a while, you're going to hear something that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
But if you never ask them, they're never going to tell you.
I think in your book, there's so many ways that you're encouraging men to really just, because there's still this cultural stuff going around with men are not supposed to be emotional, you're not sensitive, all these, it's all lies, it's all myth, right? But you need the skills and the tools to be more vulnerable and to open up, right? In a way that's comfortable.
Yeah.
So you give men a lot of ways to do that.
Listen,
Yeah, I always say just with the right context. Like, a bachelor party is not the place to do it.
Right.
Also, we should talk about like our main number one hack, which is rituals.
Rituals, traditions,
Right.
very important.
So what it comes down to is that men probably do want to hang out. They're not so good at making plans. Also, there's a partner, there's kids. And so the beauty of a ritual, which could be a yearly dinner, it could be a monthly Monday night football at the bar, could be fantasy football, could be a fishing trip, is it something that's on the calendar?
Yep.
That you have buy-in from the wags, the wives of the girlfriends, or the, husbands and the boyfriends, whoever it is. So you're not going to have to be like, oh, I can't do it this Tuesday because, I didn't run it by. No, it's already done. It's in the calendar. And then you're going to see your buddies every month, every 6 weeks, every 6 months, whatever. That's huge. Then you're going to ritualize the ritual. So, okay, you have the ritual. Now we're going to name it. This is the man of the year.
Men, we got to name everything.
Friday fishing trip. You're going to make a logo. You're going to name the group chat. You're going to buy hats. You're trying to make it sticky. The stickier it is, the less likely it is, oh, I can't do the fishing thing. No, you got to do the fishing thing. We got hats.
Like,
we
come
got
on,
everything.
like,
Once you got the hats,
that's it.
it's a thing. But what he's also talking about is taking the guesswork
Right.
out of friendship. We should hang out again soon, and then 6 months go by. Because there's nothing in the calendar. If it's not in the calendar, it's not happening, right? And one of the things that we talked about, I forget if it was in the book or the New York Times. Do we do TCS in the book?
We give a lot of good advice.
Yeah, we give a lot of genius advice
in the book, yes.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about how men, need rules and structure. We settled on a rubric called TCS, text, call, see. And this is guidelines. You don't have to follow this strictly to a T, but
TCS.
text once a week,
Yeah.
call once a month, see IRL in real life once a quarter. This is for your close friends. That is the bare minimum of upkeep that we feel you need to be doing to keep everything healthy. And
Yep.
copacetic.
See each other once a quarter.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Matt, do you think a voice memo counts in there?
Counts
text?
as a text.
Okay. You don't think that's a kind of a
no,
call?
no. He's a voice memo guy.
I'm a voice memo person
I'm a caller.
too.
Yeah, you seem like a voice memo person. Matt's,
I like to call too.
Yeah.
I like to call.
Yeah, but now do you give it a heads up? Because Matt will just call me just bareback out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm a raw caller.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
with my best friends, I just call.
Yeah.
And
He doesn't accept.
No.
It
Decline.
upsets his
No.
rich. He's very rigid.
No.
It upsets the rigidity of his day.
Because Matt is out for a walk, so he's taking a break. He's like, let me stack my habits and call Aaron, but I'm working, so he's unstacking my habits.
James Clear,
I know, but
Well,
it's
he's a true aficionado.
listen, a true friend will just unstack for a friend.
James Clear doesn't say what happens to the other guy on the other end of the line.
No, he
His
doesn't care about
habits
that
are
guy. He
stacked,
cares
but my
about
habits
my-
are unstacked. I'm trying to keep my habits stacked.
He didn't think about the other guy. And then James Clear did not think. James clearly didn't clarify
Clearly
that.
think.
Clearly
Yeah.
didn't. He clearly didn't think that through.
Exactly.
But
So
yeah.
the voice memo, you can, although someone just...
The voice memo is a bit one-sided, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I didn't opt into the voice memo.
Right. It's a non-consensual
Yeah,
voice
it's
memo.
non-consensual.
Yeah, but you can read a transcription now. You don't have to
Get me
actually
the
listen.
transcription
Is it
service.
because
and all that.
is it because you don't want to hear it's like it's
It's
a
a
little bit
4-minute. I'd rather just talk to you. You know?
No, but then you can't talk back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It
what
doesn't
I want.
matter.
hear ya.
I just want it going one way. Yeah.
I really do appreciate the fact that you are advocating for phone calls because I think
Yeah.
I was born in 77, so I'm like late 40s. I mean,
We-
all
we
we
say-
did was call.
That's right.
We didn't have
Yeah, we
to,
say late.
like,
What do we say?
We say
You're mid.
early.
No, you're late,
no,
early 40s.
Late early
no,
40s.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Mid.
You're late mid 40s.
Yeah.
late mid.
Late mid.
Yeah, late
Okay,
mid.
okay,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
settle with that.
Yeah, late mid.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, but what I'm saying is like there's a lot of people that are like younger or there's
Yeah.
no way they're calling.
No.
Yeah.
So you must have a big audience of people that are not wanting to call.
Yeah.
But you're saying call.
Yeah.
And why? Why are you promoting?
Okay, so we are social creatures. I think we forget that we are
Yes.
social animals.
Yes, we are.
You know, we went into this COVID era and we never fully came out of it. And there are still people working fully remote. Something happens when you hear your friend's voice. Something happens chemically when you hug a friend. All these things are real and backed by science. But we don't even need the science to know innately when you hear your friend's voice, it's not the same as a text. When you look your friend in the eye after not seeing them and you could just break down crying because it's been so long. You know, this is what friendship is, this is what love is. And so the idea that you could replace it with a text, I think texts are important as part of the maintenance, but they're at a lower tier.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I like the voice memo. You get the voice without having to actually talk to them. It's perfect for me.
It's perfect for him, not for me.
Yeah, you got.
I need more.
You got to. What do we say? Meet people where they are.
Yeah.
You know.
Meet people where they are.
Yeah. People have different friendship styles.
That's
Matt's a
very
chatty
true.
Cathy. I'm more of a homebody. He's a yes man. I'm a no man.
But
Yeah.
I have other friends that fill my need to chop it up
He's
and
not
shoot
getting
the
his
breeze.
knees
I'm a
filled.
breeze
Yeah.
shooter.
Yeah, he's a breeze shooter. It's
So
rough.
during the day, if I'm
Rough.
taking a walk, I want to shoot the breeze with somebody.
Man,
I want to call up a friend and shoot
Yeah.
the breeze. He's not a breeze shooter.
I'm in a flow state. I'm writing. He's like, hey, this is when I saw a new
He's like,
bird.
what do you need? I'm like, need?
Yeah, I'm like, is it an emergency? Are you okay? He
Yeah,
goes, no, just breeze shooting.
Yeah, just-
shooting
yeah.
the breeze. It's interesting because Matt has this, house full of his wife and his 2 kids, and Matt gets lonely.
Yeah.
Matt gets lonelier than me, and I live by myself because we're very, very different. His friendship blood sugar drops around 2-3 o'clock. He needs a
Yes.
friendship snack.
Yes.
And
He needs a friendship
Yeah.
snack. Yeah.
But
You need a connections. You need a little.
Yes. Well, so we
Yeah.
talked about this in the book.
Yes, you have an
I think
appetite
there's
for-
a misconception about
Yeah.
what we need when it comes to friendship. We don't just need our BFFs and our close friends. We need these outer rings. Study after study show
Yes.
these fringe friends and these acquaintances and people you nod to. That's all part of your social fitness.
Yes.
To be fully socially healthy, you need those people at the coffee shop that are not your friends, but you just say hi to during the day.
Yes.
You need those work colleagues that you just have a little small talk about work. And obviously the biggest dose, the biggest snack is your BFFs. You need the largest portion of those
Right.
in our, what do we call it?
So there's the food pyramid. We have the dude
The
pyramid.
dude pyramid.
Right? So you've got your good friends, you got your acquaintances, and then you have some alone times. You got to make sure you have a well-balanced meal of friendship. Are you guys following all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what it comes down to is you are promoting, like, we all need connection.
Yeah.
It's so very important.
This myth of the lone wolf has been very destructive. Like men just go out on their own and, build their empire or whatever and don't need friends. It's like, you do. You're a human being. You need
do.
connection. You're not immune from what every other human being has ever needed
Yeah.
throughout history.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are finding that out in, sometimes tougher ways. But the good news I always come back to is, friendship is easy. If you follow the buddy system, you will have healthy friendships. The ROI on friendship is a lot higher than all of these other hacks that people are trying to do to make their lives better. We're not telling you to build a real estate empire or, do cold plunges every morning. We're just telling you, text your friend, call your friend.
Exactly. And it's not difficult. I mean, it could be for some people, but it's like
If you
the
follow
reward.
ours,
The reward is great.
Yeah, the reward is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what our shared time together has really demonstrated to me and just highlighted that, you know, we're doing the right things. And I think when people see and hear, you know, you can have good friends, and if you don't have good friends in your life, then there are steps that you can take, very tangible steps, daily steps you can take to actually make new friends, right? It takes time, it takes effort, but it will work out in your favor. Like if you make it a priority, it'll happen.
I had somebody message me yesterday on Instagram saying they were struggling with all this stuff. And I just gave them a couple tips. I said, check out the book. And they said, I won't give up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you must have a lot of great stories, right?
Yeah.
Are you hearing, like, the work you're doing is making a difference, right?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Like, tell us one story before we close. Tell us
I
a
love
story
how
about...
this guy in crisis messaged Matt. Matt goes, well, buy our book.
Yeah.
Yeah. For your good.
It's free for members of Audible.
Oh, gosh. Let me think of a story that we could tell on a thing that's going to be broadcast. That's not a NC-17. Good friendship story.
Well, there's a guy who was kind of down on his luck. He moved to a new city and he was just kind of like down on his luck and just messaging us week after week after week. I tried this.
Well, his best friend passed away.
His best friend passed. He was just in a bad place with friendship. But just week after week, we're like, just keep at it. Just keep going. You're doing all the right things, you know? And it's like, when it's not happening, then I'm like, wait, are these the right things, you know? And now fast forward to 2 years later, and he's like, I am thriving. I've got all these new friends. He's a CrossFit guy. He's got his CrossFit friends. He's got dad friends he met at the park with his daughter. And it's like, that's a beautiful thing to see. Like, we didn't do that, but we've been, you know, kind of watching over him.
You had a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So
we
that's
did
rewarding.
do that. I think we did.
That's rewarding
Yeah.
when you know that you're making a difference.
Yeah.
So we ask our guests at the end of each episode, what is your definition of love?
I would say my definition of love is someone who knows everything about you, but they still love you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Warts and all.
Now that I have 2 small children, I think
Did you know he has 2 small children? He
Yes.
doesn't mention it yet.
Well,
2
one
boys.
day I'll understand
Yeah.
what true unconditional love is. So I think there's, you know, now I'm in this phase where love has a new meaning, where it's, I have these people that I want, things that I never even imagined I'd want for myself, for others. I want all the things, you know, it's like, love to me is wanting somebody to have more than what you have in every way.
Oh, yeah. It's such an offering. It's like the unconditional part of it. Like you just said it. It was that was. Like,
Can I change my answer to what he said?
you both said the same thing in different ways.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think our friendships demonstrate love all the time. You're talking to men all the time about friendship, and what would you say is like a prevailing myth about friendship that you're hearing?
That you can't make a new friend later in life. So everyone looks at me and Matt. We've been friends since 2nd grade. And they're like, well, I could never have a lifelong friend. And we're like, you can if you start tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know, you can make a day 1 friend today.
That's good.
Thank you.
You can make a day 1 friend today.
Look, we've been very positive on this program, so I don't mean this in a negative way, but there's a big myth that friendship has to last forever.
Exactly.
I believe that there are seasons of friendship. And so the notion that, hey, you know, I can't end this or I can't end this, you may just be ending it for now and it may come back in a beautiful way, or it may be the thing that is clogging up space for another friendship in its place. I always find that when I do end a friendship that has ended its season, the universe provides me with another opportunity for another great friendship.
Oh, that's so awesome, Matt. We've all experienced it, right? Ever since we were little. You think about how...
Can you imagine the great friendship I'll make when I cut this guy loose?
Please.
I mean...
We've reached, is this the winter? Because I am discontent.
But I have a whole chapter in my book called There's No Such Thing as a Failed Relationship. Because we have this, we still talk like that sometimes. It's like, oh, the failed marriage or the failed this. It's like, what the hell? You didn't fail at anything. It just it came to its ending.
Yeah.
And sometimes the ending's not easy, but it's when one door closes, another opens. I know these sayings are for a reason.
Yeah.
Right?
When you become a parent, you realize all the cliches are true.
Isn't it ever true?
Yeah.
And I also, when I became a parent, and Dr. Terry Real says the same thing. He's like, you are your mom and dad, whether you like it or not. It's like, I am my mom and dad for sure. Flesh and blood, it's right here.
Yeah.
We're a product of our parents, whether we like it or not. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Matt and Aaron.
You're very welcome.
You are both men of the year.
Yes.
Well, he's more man of the year this year.
More accurately,
he's the man of the year.
Yeah.
Follow us at Real Love Ready and at Soul Print Media Co. on social media, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. The Real Love Ready series is a Soul Print Media production, presented by BetterHelp, hosted by me, Robin Ducharme. Executive producers are Robin Ducharme, John Kim, Tara Malhotra Feinberg, Hilary Swanson. Produced by Miriam Debbie Talbot, Tara Malhotra Feinberg. Directed by Miriam Debbie Talbot. Edited by Susie Landers O'Connell. Director of Photography, Scott Simic.